In 2012, when I was only 6 years old, my mother took me to see a doctor for my father's checkup. I was told that my father was suffering from hepatitis. Hepatitis? I didn't even know what it was, and I had no idea how dangerous this disease was. I was just told that this is kind of disease that attacks the liver. Imagine, I didn't even know what is the difference between the liver and the heart at that time. Because imagine, I was only 6 years old. I was so innocent at that time that I couldn't even recognize the difference between these two organs. So yeah, after leaving the doctor, everything seemed to be normal because I just felt nothing would happen. But it turns out I was wrong. That wasn't the last time my father saw a doctor. There were so many more appointments after that. The peak came when my father fell into the first coma. Unfortunately, my mother didn't bring my father to the hospital immediately because she didn't even realize what actually happened to my father at that time. It took her about 4 days before realizing what actually happened to my father. And then after being treated about 3 days in the hospital, miraculously, my father regained consciousness. So yeah, I started to believe to what my mother has said to me, that everything is going to be alright, everything is going to be okay. My father just woke up from his coma, not recover from his disease, from his illness. But the optimism kept storming my head that everything is going to be okay, everything is going to be alright. Oh yeah, before the first coma, we decided to sell our house due to the very high medical expenses. Besides for medical expenses, the money from selling house was also used to pay off my father's debt and also for performing an umrah. Ironically, we had to sell our house with a very low price because we actually needed the money so bad at that time. So yeah, and then after performing an umrah, my father fell into the first coma. 38 days after regaining consciousness, my father told my mother that it seemed like he was going to the coma again. And it was right. It was right. The next day, my father was indeed taken to the hospital. And yeah, he went to the second coma. And then 6 days after the second coma, my father passed away on January 4th, 2014. I, his last kid, who hadn't a personal closeness to him during his lifetime, was the only of his children who was always by his side until his last breath. Yes, I was there witnessing my father's death.